Hello and welcome to the for sale video of my black RX7 FD3S. Unfortunately it is provisionally sold. I'm putting this video out more of a keepsake for memories and all of that, but it might still come up for sale. Who knows, the owner might change his mind. No money has changed hands yet. This is the car. So it's a 1997 Touring X model. Okay, let's jump into it straight away. It's a lot cheaper than normal RX7 models, and the reason being it's an automatic. Now, if you guys have been following my YouTube channel for quite some time, you would have known that I bought this car kind of by mistake. Long story short, I bought it at like 3 in the morning. I played the auctions in Japan and I wanted an RX7. I was losing for like 3 weeks. I landed up bidding on every single RX7. The next morning I got a phone call from Japan and I won this car. Found out it was an auto, I bid it on by mistake. Anyway, the car's here. I redeemed myself by getting this Type RS, which is now officially sold. But here it is. It's an auto. They fetch plus minus retail in Japan between 15 and about 20,000 US dollars plus minus as retail. Obviously auction's a lot cheaper, anywhere between $9,500–$10,000 to about $15,000. That's excluding everything like duties, shipping, VAT, etc, etc, that long list of stuff. So this is an honest review of the car. It was sitting outside, so there's a bit of dew that's falling down. It's early in the morning. It's about 7 degrees out here. That's why I'm wearing this big puffy jersey, jacket, hoodie, whatever. It's cold. So here's the car, here's the issues. Let's start off with the obvious. Alright, let's start with the first obvious thing. You can see this panel isn't great, and also the paint is very off. That was a rattle can. This was badly damaged. It was all pushed in. Basically a forklift banged it at the port, and I never really got it sorted out properly, or at least finished. So this panel was all pushed in. You can see on some old pictures it's now been pushed out, but it's not 100%, still needs to be lined up and then obviously filled, sanded, painted properly. Then on the back of the bumper you can see there's some like spiderweb cracks. That's obviously from the impact, some damage. The tail lights are in perfect condition, absolutely nothing wrong with them. The rest of the bumper, perfect, nothing wrong with it. Tail lights are lined up. I mean, to be honest, this car is straight. There's no other accident damage from what I can tell. It's never been an accident in South Africa. I've done about 800 kilometers since I imported this vehicle in 2016. Hardly anything. I've done less than that thing since that was imported in the beginning of 2017. So this is an Ifany model. Touring X is a special edition. They call them special editions because it has a sunroof. And I think that was pretty much it on the Touring X model, but here, as you can see on the right hand side, it does say Special Edition Touring X. It came with 17-inch wheels. These are original Mazda Ifany wheels. The hubcap or the center caps are a bit discolored on this one, on that side at least, versus here. And the wheels, they do need a refresh. They do need to come off. They need to be cleaned up. This is more of like a project car, to be honest. There are some holes in the back here. I've just got some tape over them so the water didn't go in. The reason why there's some holes, when the car arrived from Japan, it had a veil side wing on, which I'll throw in with the car if we don't negotiate too much. It's a veil side attack wing. It's sitting behind that bumper. I'm not going to go forwards too much, but anyway, it's the same one that was on the Honda Civics in the first Fast and Furious, exactly the same way. The whole brake assembly was sorted and fixed by myself and my father back in 2016 when the car landed. There were some rust issues on control arm side, also on the brake side, so new front discs in the front, old ones skimmed in the back, new pads in the front. I don't think there were new pads in the back. Paint, not fantastic. This door is a slightly different color to the rest of the body. Don't know why, got it like that from Japan. There's a couple little scratches here, and that's just dirt. But there's a couple little scratches all over the place. This is loose. I haven't had a chance to fix that. I probably won't now because of the sale. But that is loose. It still works though. Loose. There's a crack over here. Some Q-bond can sort it out. This car has never really featured on my YouTube channel because it's stock, and I kind of just parked it off with the intention to fix off camera. I mean, the content wouldn't be great if I put it on YouTube. Nobody would watch me fixing odds and ends like this. They want to see, or you guys want to see, twin turbo stuff, single turbo stuff. Cool stuff. Paint issues. There was some surface rust on the roof. This was blasted. It was then done with a rust reformer and then hammer out on top. Hasn't been sanded fully. It's black hammer out. The color doesn't match. So there's that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and then that big spot over there. And then that's it. So I would say the entire car needs a respray. It is straight. It's clean. The paint is shit. That's a quick, easy fix. Quick, but I don't have the time. Same story at the bonnet. There was some surface rust over here. Rust reformer, hammer out. It needs to be sanded and all that jazz. Front bumper alignment is actually really good considering the age, and also if you had to compare it to my silver one, alignment on this one is actually a lot better. With regards to the tires, there's some Potensas on here. These are Potensa S001, and then on the back there's some Bridgestones. They're really old. The tread isn't fantastic on the rears. I would get that sorted out. I would change these tires. I think they're roughly 12 or 13 years old from what I remember. I don't see the numbers on there anymore. And then there's a little bit of discoloration here on the paint. Like I said, the entire car would need to be resprayed. I would suggest it needs to be resprayed, but there's almost no dents on the car, and if there are, they're really tiny and I'm missing them. I'm trying to make this as honest as possible from what I remember. If there's anything I'm missing, you know, it's one of those things like I've forgotten because I don't drive the car. It's dirty, but it's clean, and it's a really good base as a project car. So here it is. Those are rare carpets. Those are cherry blossom carpets. There is an RX7 badge for that that's sitting in the cubbyhole. Steering wheel is stock. Nothing else in the wheel. Handbrake leather stock. It's an automatic. It's got the drive, neutral, low range, and sport mode. It does not rev as high as a normal RX7 in manual. So it only revs up to like 6.5-ish. Which also means that the engine would not have been, for lack of better words, raped. Or not raped as badly. Interior wise, it's a bit upsetting. When the car arrived, there were some gauges over here, and they drilled into the dash. So that would need to be refilled. I never did it, never got around to it. They would need to be filled and patched up. The rest of the dash is clean. Nothing done to it. Air conditioning doesn't work. Everything is there though. The aircon pumps, it comes on when you switch it on, but I'm assuming there's no gas. I had the same story with this RX7. Aircon came on, pump came on, all that stuff, no gas. I don't know if it's a Japanese thing when the cars were shipped from here. I just never really got them around to getting regas because I don't drive them. Rear seats are clean. They are leather in the back. That's stock. They all come leather in the back and then cloth here. This seat has got a cigarette burn, rather annoying, came like that from Japan. I don't smoke. That seat is clean. The rest of the seat is clean. It's decent. There's nothing wrong with it. The cushion's still there. It's just that annoying burn. I don't know if that can be repaired. Probably needs to be recovered. It's got the RX7 kick panels, the aluminium ones. And then before we start it up, let's take a look at the engine bay. This car, a nice thing about it, it's 100% stock. One thing I forget, the exhaust. The exhaust is a piece of shit. The exhaust is the stock exhaust, all the way from the front, from the turbos, 100% stock, except the tips were rusty, and the aluminium portion of the tips fell off like a week or two after owning the car. There's actually a video somewhere on my channel. I'm too lazy to find it when I do the edit, but there's a video it flew off on the freeway. Engine is stock. Absolutely nothing done to the engine except for this aluminium plate here with the grub screws. That is your air separation tank. Every single RX7 has that. It's basically a system that works the bubbles out of your air in the radiator. Now, the issue is the plastic is old, it gets brittle, and it starts to leak. It happened on this car, it happened on my RX7, I believe it happens to 90% of RX7 owners. What we did on both cars is we made plates to hold the two pieces, the top and the bottom of it, put some grub screws in and then filled it up with some silicone around. It does not leak. It's really good now. I'll probably spray that black to make it look more OEM. That's the only thing that is done to this car. Everything else on here is in complete stock standard form. It does need a detail. It would look a lot better with the detail. Stock airbox, there's a filter. I don't remember if I changed the filter, to be honest. Everything's done. Everything else is stock. Headlights work, even though there's a little crack on that side. Like I said, the crack can be sorted out, but if you push the headlight switch, they come up really quick. There. See? Decent. So here's all the AC stuff. That and that, and it turns, it works, it comes on with a switch. I don't know what the story is. Could be an issue. The car has 140 something thousand kilometers on it. Let me double check, confirm that. It's a digital display, so you got to put the keys in. $140,696, and I've done about 2 kilometers in the last, I don't know, year. There is a front loader. Unfortunately, it's not the standard one. It's a JVC double din. That's been used probably about 3 times. Picked it up in late 2016, beginning of 2017, because the one that was anyhow wasn't working, and I've just never really played music out of this car. Probably played 3 songs. That's it. Okay. Door cards are neat, everything's fine on the door cards, except for 2 things. This is out. When it came from Japan, the clips were broken. There's one clip over here, and there's no clip on this side, and they've put tape on there. So it doesn't sit in nicely, and it's a little bit annoying. This could probably just be glued if you're never going to take it out. Change the speakers first, then glue it. So that's the one issue, and then this guy over here, the one side is bust, so it's supposed to be something that like keeps it in place there. It's supposed to be stuck like that. Yeah, that's broken. That's the control for the radio, so that's annoying. That could be sorted out easily. And then the final thing is engine. The car smokes white smoke. So does the silver, but the silver for way less. The car smokes white smoke in wintertime for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then in summertime it smokes white smoke for about a minute. It did this when it arrived from Japan, and it did it quite prominently when it arrived from Japan, and then it's died down now, and it hardly happens anymore. I'm assuming it's the water seal that's leaking slightly and letting through, because it's quite a sweet smell. I'm pretty sure it's radiator fluid. However, the radiator fluid levels don't change, so I don't know, slight leak. Potential rebuild in the future. I did daily this car for, and when I say daily, my work is like 3 kilometers. I dailied it for about 2 months, just prior to the lockdown, the 2020 lockdown. From like end of 2019, I started dailying this car. I did probably about 800-900 kilometers on it, and no issues. I was happy with it. I haven't started it today. It's been sitting here for a while. Battery actually runs nicely. The car stays plugged in. Battery lasts like 3, 4, 5 weeks before it actually starts draining. Starts up instantly. As you can see that. I mean, that could be condensation. Look what's coming out on the floor. It's a lot more prominent in winter, and it's 7 degrees right now. I don't know. There's a couple driving videos. There's a video on my channel called, I'll link it in the description, called Point of View, is it worth buying an automatic RX7? And I drive the car on the streets, I boost it on the streets. It's quite enjoyable to drive. Obviously the manual counterpart is a lot more fun, and you have a lot more control. Let me turn the car around quickly. Good thing I jumped in, because the rev counter, it's a very common issue on the RX7s. My silver one's fine though, but the rev counter dies. It comes alive sometimes with a good whack. But yeah, so I'm in reverse right now, and it's got that annoying chime. heat light is on. That came on when I swapped the exhaust. So this exhaust actually belonged to the silver car. It was completely stock, and I figured let me finalize this car and make it fully stock by throwing in the exhaust. When I did that, the heat light came on. So if you research, it generally says blocked cat causes the heat light. But I've had it with the heat light for, I don't know, 2 and a bit years, and it hasn't been an issue. Car's still very, very cold. I warmed it up for like 2 minutes before I started turning around. That's one thing with the RX7s. You got to make sure they're warm before you hit boost, before you start driving, all that sort of stuff. It's been on for about 2 minutes now. I'm just reversing it. Let's go take a look at the smoke. Look, rev counter's trying to fix itself. Yeah, I think it runs very smoothly for what it is and for the year, and this is unopened as far as I know, with 140,000 kilometers. Let's see what the smoking looks like. Pretty much nothing. I can see a tiny little white puff. That's about it. So this has been about 3.5, 4 minutes now, and there's almost nothing. So look, I think it might be a water seal, and it's probably going to take a very, very long time for it to completely die. So I think all in all, it's a decent project car for the price. I'm asking 235,000 Rand for it, or nearest cash offer. Like I said, to get these in from Japan, you're going to be paying much more, and you don't know what the car looks like. No one's going to do this sort of review in the car, especially if you're buying from an auction. You're just not going to get that. Every video I make, I've got Hardy Dars coming at me. Like right above me. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you guys are interested, please hit me up on Instagram. Like I said, there is a pending offer on the car. Provisionally sold. It may be going. I'm putting this video up more for sentimental value. It'll be the last time I do anything with this car. Damn birds. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.